The first dream I remember having, I'm in a warehouse. I work in a warehouse, and there's these aisles. I guess it's like a shipping and receiving warehouse with tons of skids and forklifts and machines, and it looks like what we I can't tell the product that we sell or ship or something. And there's these machines. One of them is this machine that has like a I think it's like a forklift where you sit down on it, like a kind of looks like a what do you call it, those, I guess, sit down forklifts or whatever. And it has a weird arm that swings like left and right with forks on it. And it's parked next to this like rack. There's like, I guess, these aisles of racks, kind of like in Costco, right? You have these aisles. And for whatever reason, I get onto this machine and I'm like, oh, it's very easy to use. And I know that I'm not like certified on it, or I don't have a license to drive it, but I know I can do it or something. So or I had like a previous license and my license is expired or something like that. And there's a coworker next to me, and we're looking at these skids, and I'm like, oh, these need to be moved or something like that. So I get on the machine and I start using it, and these I basically just I'm trying to move something very high up in the warehouse, like in the racks at the very top. And there's like a skid that I try to move, and I push something. Basically, I screw up and I push like this skid that causes a bunch of empty pallets to fall down, but from very high up, and they like fall around me. I think there's like maybe like five or six of these like small weird wooden pallets that fall down. They smash into the ground, but then it also causes a few to fall from the other side and fall into the warehouse. And I think maybe like a total of 10 of them fall, but it doesn't make sense because it's like causing damage on like the complete other side of the warehouse. And there's workers everywhere. Like, I'm yelling out for them to all watch out because it's falling from like very high up from the ceiling, and it can obviously like kill people, and like it's damaging the warehouse properties and this and that. So basically, all these things crash down. Some pallets of product look like they crashed down as well. And so I get off the machine, and I think one of the small pallets had fallen down and it had hit me, but like it makes no sense because it just caused like a small scratch on my arm or something like that. And so the boss of this warehouse comes running out, and he runs into the warehouse, and I basically start explaining what happened. And he's really pissed off at me because I wasn't supposed to use this machine. And he's like, why are you even in the warehouse? You're not supposed to be working here. You're supposed to be like doing other stuff, other jobs, other work. And I'm like, oh, I was just trying to help out, and like I knew I could do it, and it's not my fault. And I try to put the blame on other people or something like that. I'm saying like somebody had put the stuff at the top of this like rack or something like poorly, and somebody else like did something like it wasn't properly stored, and it wasn't my fault, and this and that. And so he's just really pissed, and everybody, there's like a lot of people there, and we have to start cleaning up the mess. And so it doesn't even make sense because what fell down was a few pallets, and they were just empty pallets, but there's like this weird thick like glue. It looks like it almost looks like a some sort of, what would you even call it? It's like a sandpaper. It's not sandpaper, but it's like sand and some sort of thick glue that's kind of spread all over the floors. Somehow I caused it, so it doesn't even make sense. But it's like all around this warehouse, all over the floor. There's this thick, like sandpapery, like molasses type goo that's like oozed all over the place. And it looks like it's either sawdust. I think in the dream I realized it's either something like sawdust or even sand, but it looks thicker. Like it's pretty thick, and it's all over the floor. And somehow I have to shovel this up. Like I have to scrape it off the floor into buckets and dispose of it, like throw it out. And it just looks weird. It's all over the ground, and like I'm the only one who, like, I'm doing it by myself, and I'm like, this is gonna take me forever, and like I'm pissed off at the whole situation. But everybody else is just kind of ignoring it like it's no big deal, and they're just going back to work and working. And then there's like some sort of safety thing where they're trying to review what I did, and I think my boss, like a manager, is there and a boss or something like that, and they come up to me and they're like asking me questions about like what exactly happened, what did I do, and they wanted me to like explain everything step by step to them. And I tried to explain it that I did everything the proper way, the way I'm supposed to do it, or something like that. And that's all I remember from that dream. And then the second dream I remember having, another dream was I'm at home and my driveway is massive, like bigger than it's supposed to be, like wide, width wise. And it's weird because it's like summertime and the weather's really hot, but there's a bunch of snow on the floor still, like on the ground rather, and like a lot, like there's like 2 feet of snow, but it's also melted at the same time. So it doesn't make sense. It's like there's a bunch of water, like puddles of water, but there's still snow. And so I'm using like this giant, it almost looks like a shovel, but it's also a squeegee. And I'm kind of like shoveling the water and the snow into each other. So I'm using the water that's already melted. So like parts of the snow that's melted and I'm pushing it onto the rest of the snow. So I'm using water and like splashing it back and forth on top of the snow to help the snow melt faster. And it's really warm though. It feels like, I think in the dream I remember it being like 20 degrees or something like that. Or 25. So it's really hot, and like I'm wearing just like a shorts and a t-shirt, and I keep doing this. I'm just splashing water on top of it on the snow, and it turns kind of into a slush, and it's like I'm doing it so easily, like casually, like it doesn't weigh anything, and I just have this ginormous squeegee, and I'm just pushing the water back and forth, back and forth. And I see my neighbors all around me, and I think a couple of them are like checking me out, like looking at me, like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, why is he doing that? And I'm like surprised that they're surprised, because I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? Like in my mind, I don't say this, but in my mind, I'm just like, all these idiots aren't even doing what I'm doing to clear the snow. Like I know what I'm doing is the right thing or the proper thing. And so I'm like just pushing with the squeegee. I just keep pushing it further and further. Like I'm just sloshing this water around or whatever with the slushy, snowy water. And I'm pushing it to the end of the driveway and onto the street. So like the water just kind of flows down. And then my neighbors are there, and I see a lot of cars. There's just a bunch of cars being moved around for whatever reason. It's like they're organizing their driveways. And then I'm in the backyard and I have a small dog, and the dog is there and he's just running around, and I realize the gate is open, so I worry that the dog might run away. And so I quickly close the gate, I think. And then next thing I know, it's the same dream, but I'm suddenly in the basement and I'm moving appliances around. I have like a dryer and a washing machine and a dryer. And I think the whole set is being replaced. Like I bought a new set and I have to like take them out of the basement. And so I think I have a dolly and it's really heavy. So I'm like trying to move these big appliances by myself, and they won't fit through the door. And I have to put it like on its side, and I'm like struggling with it. And I don't know why I'm doing it by myself. But I'm just trying to like remove these giant washer dryers out of the basement so that I can install new ones. I think I had bought new ones, but they were already there. Like they had been delivered. And I'm trying to move these giant ones out of the basement, upstairs and outside. I think I actually managed to get the dryer out because it looked a little smaller than it actually would be, like it unrealistically small, and it looks more like a dishwasher. But I managed to get it onto this dolly thing, and I take it and I lift it out. I put it into the backyard. So I take it outside and I put it into my backyard against the wall, and it's like not garbage day, but I'm preparing it for garbage day. And I put it outside, but I realize it's gonna look ugly because having an appliance by the side of the house is like this. It doesn't look nice. It's kind of like ghetto looking, and like the neighbors might complain that I'm storing appliances, and I'm like, oh, it's not gonna be out for long anyways because I'm just gonna wait for garbage day, which is like a couple days away. And that's it. That was like such a weird plain dream, and that was the second dream I remember. And then another dream I remember. It was very vague. And I know it was a sexual dream. It was weird. I don't know who I was with. I was literally just in a room. All I remember is I'm basically sitting down, and I think I'm masturbating, I'm pleasuring myself, but there's like a woman right behind me, and she's like literally either like hugging me or like straddled right against me. And it's weird because they're doing something, but it's like they're somehow helping me pleasure myself. And it's like they're giving me directions almost or something. They're like, okay, start now, no, stop, start, go, go, go. And like I don't know if it was like a game or it wasn't really a game, but it was almost like, I don't know, it was like something we were doing together, but it's like they were instructing me and timing me. Like somehow it was supposed to be like done a certain way, or they were also distracted or something. So I would like stop and wait for them to pay attention to me. But again, it's weird because I'm like somehow sitting. I'm sitting on a. It's like it might have been a couch, and that's all I remember. It was like it was so blurry too. It's just like I'm just sitting there and I'm holding it and I'm just like wanking it, and then this woman, I don't even know who she was, but she's like kind of. It's almost like she's hugging me from the back. So I just know that she's behind me, and that's all I remember. Like I'm just like going at it repeatedly, and like it's for a while too. Like I just keep going, and I can't finish, or I'm not finishing, and or I'm taking my time on purpose. I'm not even sure. And I think that's all I remember. And at one point, I think there's like somebody else. There's like people behind me for where like I couldn't see, but like I just know that one woman is right behind me, and then I think there's one other woman. I think there might be a second woman that's kind of coming and going or talking to the one behind me, but I'm just ignoring it. And I'm just like, I remember kind of being huddled over almost too. So I'm looking down at it as I'm holding it and doing my deed. I'm just like beating it furiously at points, at different points. I'm just like going at it really hard. But I remember again, she's just like giving me instructions like stop and start again and just trying to help me finish for whatever reason. That's all I remember. I think that's like literally the only thing I remember from that part of the dream. And I don't end up finishing either. Like it just the dream just either shifts or ends or something. And that's all I remember from my dreams.